Did you know you can sell subscriptions or apps on Amazon's actual platform? And we're not talking about subscribe and save here, which everyone knows about and has been on Amazon for a while. We're talking about subscriptions off the platform and specifically usually to a app or a piece of technology that you would have on your phone. So when you're looking at Amazon, it's actually fairly simple. You can type in here, I just did subscription required here up at the top. But if we're actually looking and scroll down, we see things such as GPS trackers, right? A product that you pretty much need some form of actual tracking to see. A lot of times it could be a web page, but nowadays with the rise of smartphones, it's all going to be typically on the phone in the form of an app or that usually has a back-end subscription. You can see it comes across a lot of GPS stuff is utilizing this right now. There are some other products as well, some cat toys. This one says no subscription, but it does have, for instance, an app that goes alongside for monitoring a lot of camera equipment as well. Usually, again, this is largely currently dominated by GPS, but I think there's more that you could probably do here. Again, this isn't something that necessarily you need an app for, and definitely one you don't necessarily need a subscription for, but that's how typically a product like this is going to make all of its money on Amazon, is usually having the actual tracker itself as a loss leader on the platform, just fairly cheap little device that they're probably not even making any profit on. But then on the back end, they require a subscription. And this is a way to actually get longevity from the customer. It costs a lot of money to make apps, develop apps, anything like that. So the product itself is more like the initial loss leader on the platform. You can even, again, see from a lot of perspective here, we're talking about, $14, $30, $19, $26, $9 even for some really, really small ones. But the actual app is going to end up being a subscription required. Now, I think this is always super interesting. And on top of that, it's one of those things that you can actually expand it to other products. It doesn't just have to be GPS products, it can be nearly anything that you want. If you have some form of web content, right, that you have an app for, or even just a website for, you could, in theory, actually advertise that even in your main image. Again, we see here with all of these different products, one key indicator. The phone is here showing it the whole time. There's nothing stopping someone, however, from putting this phone here and, for instance, just adding a little bit of text. So we can just click into one of these here. You can see, for instance, we have the phone. It's showing the actual thing. It even shows up at the top here the actual URL for the website. So again, this is an area where Amazon technically is kind of allowing you to bend the rules slightly. You are not only just adding a website into your actual listing, but even more so, you have, the entire app that goes along with it. So it's one of those things you can even add the pricing plans in for this. This is one area where it's a little bit of a gray area. Again, you're not supposed to typically have things like this in the listing, but when it comes to apps and services where, a subscription is required, I think we can typically bend the rules slightly in our favor to really show it. And even better yet, if it's something that's free that you're offering alongside the product, I think that's even better. But I really do think the versatility of, off Amazon apps or anything like that in, the main image is really interesting because if you, for instance, have a very large social presence, you want to, promote some form of social where you do, let's say, walkthroughs such as this one, or you have any type of video, you could, in theory, add that onto the phone as a web tutorial included, right? And have that as part of the actual sale process. So it could be utilized in almost a click through rate improvement and hack way. But it's really interesting to see overall that apps as a whole really can just be sold on Amazon. Because again, the real thing here is not so much the device, it is because that's what's doing the tracking, but it really is the software that comes with the actual device that is the primary. We see this a lot when it comes to computer chips and things like that as well. But overall, I think this is such an interesting area, and it's definitely a way if you have some form of app and you want to also try and sell that on Amazon, try and find a compatible, unique device, even if it's something as simple as just registering it for a warranty into your app. I think that would be really cool.